So many of you have already asked on Instagram DMs, what settings did I use for the GoPro to shoot this POV night photography video? And we all know that the GoPro is not the best in night, but there are some settings that you can change. So let's go. So there's some settings that you can leave as it is and some you should change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the 4K 24 frames per second. I'm not going with the higher bitrate because I want my shutter speed to be lower, and I will explain that in a moment. The lens, I usually go with a super view because it gives 16 millimeters, and the wider the lens, also the footage is gonna be a little bit more stable. Hyper smooth, I usually set to boost because I like my footage to be stable. The thing that's gonna happen is that the camera is gonna crop in, so that's why you want a super view for the lens. Then going into Protune, the bitrate, make sure that you select high because that's gonna record in the highest bitrate possible. And this is super important, the shutter, you should not leave it to auto, but instead you should choose double of what the frame rate is. So if you have 24 frames per second, your shutter should be 48. And obviously if you use 60 frames per second, you should have 1/100th of a second. But as I said, the lower the shutter, the better, because the more light is gonna come in the sensor. White balance, I usually leave to auto. And then ISO minimum ISO 100, because the lower the ISO, the better. And here is super important thing, the maximum ISO. Make sure to not go over 800. You can still use 1600, but it's not that good because you will see a lot of grains. And I found that ISO 800 is the one that gives you the cleanest acceptable image. And another thing to remember is if some things are going to be really dark, it doesn't really matter because they're meant to be dark. You should always look for places where you have some lights. And in this video, we were using a lot of lights and try to find reflections, light sources, or if you didn't have, then we used our own. Going on, sharpness, I usually leave to medium because this is a setting that you can add on later. When it comes to color profile, usually I'm shooting in flat when I'm doing a day POV videos, but in this case I'm switching to GoPro, which is sort of more colorful and already color graded. And the reason is simply because the night videos are not possible to grade because they just will fall apart as soon as you're gonna start touching them. So basically you're gonna just use the GoPro's color correction as it is, and that's what you have to live with if you want the cleanest possible image. And after that, I don't think there's anything else. So yeah, save it as your preset, and which you can access later. And that's about it. I hope you liked the video, and of course, I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye.